Now at 10, Joplin kicks off Black History Month with a birthday celebration 123 years in the making. Plus, Joplin's Main Street will soon give bloom to a beautification project, and a boutique in Joplin shows its love for a domestic violence shelter.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
City of Joplin tonight celebrates one of its most prominent figures. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. February 1st marks the start of Black History Month. It also marks the birthday of Langston Hughes. Hughes, of course, was a Joplin native poet and activist. Hughes Cultural Society gathered this evening to celebrate his 123rd birthday. Joplin Mayor Pro Tem Keenan Cortez tells us he's honored to serve his community just as Hughes did.
Humbly honored to represent not only my community, the Afro-American community, but the entire community. This is a huge day. It's a huge time in America that everyone is being celebrated regardless of their ethnic background. So it's a great honor for me to celebrate and to be represented on the city council as a black man.
Hughes was a poet, social activist, novelist, playwright, columnist, and leader of the Harlem Renaissance. The Boys and Girls Club of Southwest Missouri teamed up with U.S. Cellular to celebrate Black History Month with an art contest. Club members created original pieces of artwork representing influential Black STEM icons. The general public can vote on their favorites.
From this Black History Art Contest, I hope that the kids are able to learn about Black history and learn about how these individuals pioneered and how they had such a great impact on our community and our nation as a whole.
You can also head over to KOAMnewsnow.com for more information. The top 3 first place submissions from all participating clubs with the most votes will also be named national winners. Unseasonably warm, record-setting warmth. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it really got up there for us today. 72 for an afternoon high. So this broke the old record. So way back in 1974, it was 70 degrees. In fact, check this out. 49 during the morning hours. Our average high is 47 degrees. So we didn't even get down to our average high. We still look pretty good, upper 50s. We are dry. Joplin also just outside of Pittsburgh. Most of us are sitting mid to upper 50s across the board. Tonight, also, we're not going to drop off too much. Overnight lows right around 50 degrees. These southerly winds will actually keep our temperatures up just a little bit. But overall, it looks pretty good. We have some clouds kind of shooting through the region. And if we look out toward the west, much bigger storm system is brewing. This system is going to roll in and give us rain all weekend long. I'm going to have those details for you here in just a bit.
Catch you in a few. Police arrested Joplin man wanted for a shooting outside a bar in early January. 33-year-old Peyton Harbin of Joplin is now in the Jasper County Jail. Police say he and another suspect assaulted a woman inside Joplin's Escape Bar on January 6th by punching her multiple times. They say witnesses then intervened and Harbin left the bar, but later confronted one of the witnesses and shot him in the abdomen and legs. That victim is still recovering from his injuries. Authorities last night learned Harbin was at a home in Webb City. They found him hiding in the attic and they arrested him. Joplin and Webb City Police, the Jasper County Sheriff's Office, and the U.S. Marshals Service were all involved in that arrest. Authorities in Arkansas yesterday extradited the primary suspect in a Pittsburgh, Kansas murder case to the Crawford County Jail. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
This past August, police responded to a shooting outside this bar in Pittsburgh. Justin Krogan had been fatally shot, and the suspected killer reportedly fled the scene and went across state boundaries. Pittsburgh Police Department released photos asking the public to identify individuals caught on camera. After a prolonged period of time with no reported progress in the case, cries of justice for Justin rang out. 2 months after Krogan's death, Jamon Allen was arrested in Pine Bluff, Arkansas by U.S. Marshals. On January 31st, Allen was extradited to the Crawford County Jail, where he will await trial for first-degree murder. Reporting in Crawford County, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
The district attorney says there is no set court date yet for Allen. Caney, Kansas city officials say they have about a year's worth of water. This announcement comes as the Kansas Department of Health and Environment lifts a boil advisory for the town. Residents of Caney have dealt with water shortages on and off for years. That includes a water emergency that was declared in Caney in September of 2022. Along with hoping for spring showers, city officials are finding out how nearby towns could help if necessary. Apparently we don't have that comment. We can say that although Caney is still under a water watch, car washes and public restrooms have reopened. City of Joplin announces a major renovation project on Main Street. Starting next week, the city will begin replacing trees along Main. Joplin Public Works and Parks and Recreation Departments will team up with Simpson Lawn Care to remove the invasive Callery pear trees and replace them with ivory silk Japanese lilacs and the fruitless spring snow crabapple trees. City says these smaller flowering trees are more suitable for downtown beautification. With Valentine's Day coming up, some people might be looking for a new outfit to mark the occasion. Well, Second Chance's Benefit Thrift Store in Joplin has curated a collection of Valentine's themed items. All the clothing is thrifted and proceeds will go toward an organization that supports people struggling with domestic violence and substance abuse. Customers say they're happy to help in this way.
So Second Chances is with Lafayette House here in Joplin, and we are donation based.
Well, if you know anything about the Lafayette House, why wouldn't you want to? I mean, they're doing a wonderful service for families and children, for single women and children.
You can learn more about Second Chances and how you can help support them through our website, koamnewsnow.com. Later in sports, this was a busy opening day of baseball season here in the Four States. John's going to take us out to the ballpark for the highlights. But first, we're going to meet some Chiefs super fans in Carthage who've been around longer than their favorite team.
Casino.
A nursing home in Carthage is getting ready for the Super Bowl. 104-year-old resident Helen Hubbard, you remember her, she's a Super Chiefs fan, and she's counting down the days to the event. KOAM's Fernandez Silva has the story.
Helen Hubbard has been a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs for almost 40 of her 104 years. By walking into her room at the St. Luke's nursing home in Carthage, you can tell she's a big fan, which leads credit to her ability to try to turn people into Chiefs fans.
There's a few staff that are just uneducated. They root for somebody else. And I keep giving them lectures.
What do you tell them?
They're a little off.
When the Chiefs moved to Kansas City in 1963, Hubbard wasn't living in the area. For a while, her heart was somewhere else. But in the 80s, she moved back to Carthage, and she knew exactly which team to support.
We lived in California, and there were the 49ers.
How is your heart feeling right now with Chiefs and 49ers on the Super Bowl?
Well, there's no question. It's the Chiefs.
Hubbard is joined by other St. Luke's residents who are also big fans. Ron Tomlinson became a Chiefs fan as soon as the franchise moved to Kansas City.
Always loved Kansas City. They either won or they lost, and that's, if you got a team, you go with it.
For the Super Bowl, Tomlinson and his friend Mervyn Dale Hyde are optimistic.
I think it'll be a close game, of course, but when you get up there and playing them, you're always playing a tough team, you know. But I do expect a Chief win.
Never an easy game. When you're playing in athletics, they're all hard. You have to give your best.
Just like Hubbard, they're counting the days.
I wish we had it this weekend.
In Carthage, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
We've known Helen for a while. Good for her, still educating fans on where their loyalties should lie. Just for reference, Chiefs fans had to wait 50 years between their first 2 Super Bowl wins, but things have kind of changed. In less than 2 weeks, they're going to appear in their 4th Super Bowl in 5 years. Wow. A little bit later, big night for college basketball here in our area. John's going to have the highlights from today's biggest matchups. That'll be coming up in sports.
Plus, we have a rain in the forecast that is going to be affecting us this weekend. Those details coming up next.
News now.
Well, it turned out to be an amazing Thursday for us today. A little bit on the breezy side, but high temps all the way up to 72 degrees. Set a record across the region. It looks amazing out there for us right now. Still, we have partly cloudy skies. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, let's zoom in. Let's look at the temps right now. It's 50 in Stockton, it's 51 in Miami. Anderson is sitting at about 50 degrees, 57 in Parsons, and then you have Cassville checking in at 50 degrees. We're not going to drop off too much more tonight. Overnight lows near 50. Visibility is good. Pressure is steady. South winds at about 5 to 15. These will increase a little bit as we go into Friday, but what they're going to do for us tonight is keep our temperatures up from falling off too much. But look at our wind gusts. So through tomorrow, winds gusting 15 to 20. As we get into tomorrow night, also on Saturday, those gusts start to increase a bit, 25, 30, maybe even 35 miles per hour at times. We do have a few clouds kind of shooting through the region. Besides that, not a whole bunch is going on here across the Central Plains. Here's our next big storm system, the western third of the country, and this is going to affect us as we head into the weekend. You can see this big upper level low very close to Las Vegas. So if we track it, we're going to watch this guy. It's going to come out all day long tomorrow into the southern plains. Rain starts to spread in on Saturday. Because it's tracking south of us, we're on the cooler side, meaning we get just kind of a chilly rain instead of snow or thunderstorms. There's not enough cold air for snow. As it passes to our south, rain sticks throughout the day on Sunday. Then by Monday, we start to clear out, get into this ridge of high pressure, and it looks pretty good again. All right, so let's walk you through this. Tonight, upper 40s to near 50. Through the morning hours, partly, mostly cloudy skies, southerly winds, mid 60s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, I think most of us near 70. 68 Lamar, 68 in Osho, Welch 68, much of the same in Parsons. Tomorrow night, clouds thicken, but we're going to stay on the dry side. Our rain chances will start to increase by Saturday morning. Here comes this system. Rain increases Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, into northwest Arkansas. Rain spreads northeast through the day on Saturday. So periods of showers, temperatures into the 50s. As we go into Saturday night and Sunday, rain continues all day Sunday and then finally starts to taper off once we get into Monday morning, and then Monday looks quite a bit better. How much rain could we get? Lesser amounts on the Missouri side, quarter to a half an inch. Most of Kansas and Oklahoma, a half an inch, upwards to 3/4 of an inch, which is decent amounts. Tomorrow's Groundhog Day, but I guarantee you we have 6 more weeks of winter. 57 on Saturday, 48 on Sunday. Of course, those showers and then 50s and 60s return for us next week.
Making guarantees like this, you're going to put that groundhog out of work.
I've been working on it for a long time.
Well, he's been employed for a long time.
He has been.
Thanks, Doug. Hey, Disney's set to begin banning password sharing on its streaming services. It's a move that follows in the footsteps of one of its top competitors, Netflix. In an email to Hulu subscribers, the company said it would start limiting sharing accounts outside of households starting March 14th. Still ahead, 2 of our local college basketball teams entered the night with double-digit winning streaks. John Dales has scores and highlights from those games and a lot more. It's coming up next in sports. Join me July 18th.
A team of eye care professionals are here for all of your eye care needs. Come see us today at one of our 3 locations.
Hey, welcome into our second week of Thunder Thursdays here on KOAM. On Friday, we aired OKC's game broadcast from New Orleans. From that point on, it's been an up and down week for the Thunder. They briefly held the #1 seed in the Western Conference, but have dropped down to the 2nd spot after 2 losses in a row, one of which came to the Pistons, who are the worst team in the NBA with a record of 6-41. But just last night, the Thunder took down the defending NBA champion Denver Nuggets in a game where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scores 34 points. Tomorrow is another Thunder Friday night and a chance for you to catch the game broadcast on our network of stations. OKC plays host to the Charlotte Hornets at 7 p.m. Head to the 4-State CW to watch the game. Things get started with pregame coverage at 6:30. Over to junior college basketball here in the 4 states. NEO enters the night with a 16-game winning streak, but gets one of its toughest tests of the season against 18-1 Connors State. NEO with a big matchup tonight against Connors State, who has only lost 1 game this year. The Norse land the first few punches. First 3 points of the night come from long range after Trayvon Boyd sticks the jump shot. NEO not finished there. Ronyo Obu on the catch and shoot. They say his foot is on the line, so that's a 2-pointer. Next possession, Obu this time behind the 3-point line, and it's good. Norris opened up an early 9-point lead. Cowboys not going to go away that easy, though. Antonio Green connects from long range. The Cowboys take a 5-point lead later in the half. Right before halftime, Damani Barley breathes some life into NEO. First, he hits the 3 from the corner to cut the lead to 1. Then, off a steal, Barley with the no-look backdoor pass to LeBrie Williams Jr. That gives NEO the lead going into the half, and they hold on for an 80-77 win. The streak is still alive. Missouri Southern women's basketball enters the night with the 2nd longest winning streak in the 4 states. The Lions have won 12 games in a row. And now Southern has their win streak reach a baker's dozen. The Lions destroy Newman 77-37 for their 13th win in a row. This was an 11-point game at half before MSSU outscored the Jets 44-15 in the second half. 4 different Lions finished the night with double-figure points. Things go just as well for the Lions men's team. Southern annihilates Newman 82-59. 5 different players finished the game with double-figure points. Darius Dawson sets the pace with 17. He goes 6 of 9 from the field, 2 of 2 from deep, and adds in 9 rebounds as well. Meanwhile, Pitt State baseball, softball, men's basketball, and women's basketball all in Edmond, Oklahoma today. The Hoops teams are there to take on the Broncos. Pitt State women's basketball dominates Central Oklahoma 77-57. Reese Pyle has 24 points and 7 rebounds, but Corinna Gerber scores 20 of her own. That puts her over the 1,000 career point mark. She's the 25th player in program history to score upwards of 1,000 points in her career. Things were a bit closer for the Gorillas men's team, but they get a win on the road as well. Pitt State takes down UCO 71-69. Tanner Mans scores the game-winning layup for PSU with just 5 seconds left in regulation. He finishes the night with 16 points and 7 rebounds. College baseball season is here this afternoon. Pitt State on the road, beginning its campaign in Oklahoma. That means its home field is open, and that's where Crowder and Labette Community College start the year with a doubleheader. Crowder squaring off with Labette County on the campus of Pitt State for the first game of the season. Top of the first inning, Brock Bearden singles to left field with the bases loaded. It's an RBI single, 1-0 Crowder. Next batter, Maddox Morrison hits a deep fly ball to left. That's going to bounce off the wall. It's a bases clearing 3-run double. Rough Riders up 4-0. We go to the bottom of the second now. Crowder leading 8-3, but Labette County's Jared Mack hammers this ball down the left field line. Stays fair for a 3-run homer. Cardinals start to make it interesting. They now trail 8-6. Top of the third, Crowder leading 12-6. Ashton Graffrow goes to the opposite field. That ball finds the wall. 2 more runs are going to come in. It's a 2-run triple. Crowder wins game 1, 19-8. Over to game 2 of the doubleheader between Crowder and Labette County. First inning of this one is where we pick it up. Joey Morton hits a bloop fly ball into left field. That's going to drop down. Easton Swafford scores. Crowder leads 1-0. Bottom of the first now, Crowder leading 3-0. Noah Goodshield singles to left. Finley Bunch slides in safely at home plate. Cardinals get on the board, down 3-1. Top of the second now, same score. Joey Morton again, this time singling up the middle. 2 runs come in to score. It's a 5-1 Crowder lead. Rough Riders still not done though. Ethan Fender hits this ball deep to left field. Finley Bunch tries to make a diving catch but can't. Another run scores. Crowder sweeps the doubleheader. They win game 2, 14-2. That's a look at sports. Back with more news after this.
Thunder fans, it's time for Thunder Thursday, brought to you exclusively by
Volunteers. We are proud to salute James Madur, a 4-state hero.
If you thought this didn't feel like a typical February day, you are correct. This was anything but typical. In fact, it was record-breaking.
Yeah, we broke the old record set way back in 1974, before I was even born now.
Really?
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, we know that.
that makes 2/3 of us.
But yeah, so we hit 72 degrees for us today. 70 tomorrow. It is Groundhog Day. And then, of course, some showers. It's going to be a wet weekend, but we can always use the rain.
Final sports note.
Tomorrow, college softball season starts. Both the Lions and the Gorillas start with doubleheaders.
And Friday evening of next week, we're going to have our Chiefs special.
That we are. A little 30-minute special, getting all the Chiefs fans ready for yet another trip to the Super Bowl.
Among other things, a lot of us are going to be making our Super Bowl predictions. Thanks for joining us. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
On KOAM News is sponsored